Alright, so top tier, pretty much similar comps. So in a heavy tank, you're in kind of the FCM plays a lot like a big medium because it's relatively quick. So you can play the one line if you want, but typically I'll either play the one line or this four line over here. You ideally would probably want to come over here with something a little bit more armor. So I would say probably one line, or at least start heading out there and see what your team does. That's interesting. Oh my god, no camo on the FCM? For shame. Okay, so let's see. Looks like a lot of your team is coming up here, so that's fine. And then you don't necessarily have to push all the way up to this A1 area, although you can if you want. You can stop over in this area and see what kind of support you have. I mean, you have some guys coming this way, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You're sending a couple of IS-3s down this low road here, which I don't necessarily think is a good play, but people like going down there for whatever reason. This guy's getting pushed a little bit, so like you'll probably want to look to get shots in here. I don't think you have to worry about the easy 8. Like I think you can get, if you push forward a little bit, you can get shots on these guys to the right as they try to push your type. It's probably better. And you kind of want to be careful. You don't want to get caught out on this side of the tracks because you can get shot from basically anywhere on their hill. So they got their chaffee through, which is fine, not that big of a deal. And ideally, you don't want to let him sit there. So yeah, if you can go out here to kill him, that's fantastic. There's like a little bit of a ditch back here, which gives you some protection from direct fire. But you can still get hit by artillery, so be careful. And then I never find it that useful to push through this side, but I do find it useful to peek. Like you can like stick your head around either this side or up over on top and see where how many are there or where they're at. And apparently there are none there. So if there's none there, then you can just push straight across over here. You're never going to get really good shots there. I say as you snapshot him. But anyway, so let's say that there were guys over there, then what you want to do is just come around on this side to get underneath them. And you want to be careful where you're at because you can get hit by artillery there. You want to either move more forward a little bit or you want to move a little bit over on this side. And then there's a lot there behind this guy, so it's going to be interesting. And then again, back up all the way over there so that you're safe from artillery. I don't know if you're going to want to keep peeking there. I mean, you're essentially peeking into 3 guns. I don't know that that's the right thing to do, especially since, again, that is an artillery lane. This KV-2 can potentially pen you, which would be a bad day. Lol. And then again, just as a reminder, you're still in an arty lane. And so if you're going to push through here, push forward a little bit, like to that rock right there, where you'll be safe. I don't know that this is that consequential. Your guys lost on the other side, but that's kind of to be expected. Just pushing through here is just not very good. You want to let the other team push through there because it's, again, whichever side you have to drive up on, it's really easy to defend. See where you're at right now? Much safer from artillery. You don't need to take this shot of damage right there. Okay, now you do, because the GW Panther killed your jumbo behind this guy. So you got some time now. You have some time now. Like, that would have been an advantageous trade to take a shot from the Churchill 7 to get a shot, because their artillery had already fired, so you had a window there. So all that, time where you spent in arty lanes earlier, like, that was the time to actually be in an arty lane, was once they already fired. Clear out that KV, that Churchill. Okay, but yeah, you're gonna definitely need to go back. So again, you don't need to go back up through here. You could have just driven across here. Ends up being much faster. You're taking the scenic route. and then you're cutting back across. You could have just driven right across here. I wouldn't worry too much about the awful Panther, because you have to remember, these guys will be pushing into your base. Probably. Yeah, it's still important to head back down this one line. You don't want to wait until the cap bar starts before you start hitting back. Luckily, their ISU didn't have that, so they only have one on cap, so you're going to have enough time to get back. But I hope you understand that if the ISU and the IS-6 went to cap, that you wouldn't have time to get back. And again, you're burning some time here, although this might be worth it. I would have just make sure that you focus and get a good shot. Don't shoot your Easy 8. You probably actually... The Easy 8 was definitely going to kill the ISU. You probably could have shot the Panther to back him off of your Easy 8. Lol, the S51 got the IS-6. So that saved you. And then now you can worry about the awful Panther. I would actually go back up to this A line. You could probably get kill the 3601, bully the 3601 up there. Aim all the way in. A little bit too much snappy. Okay, and the KV-4 is coming down. No, don't. You should have stayed up there. Shoot the KV-4. And at this point, you should load your APCR. He's probably going to try to dive on that guy. And you lack that snapshot. He'll still probably be side-ish to you. No, not. And then just get small. Get small here. Because like what you don't want to do right now is you don't want to get hit by artillery. The KV-4, it's going to be a tough sell. So what you want to do is you want to push a little bit more forward. And you want to be aimed in a little bit earlier than that. Shoot the either low or the machine gun port, one of the two. Good job. APCR is your friend. Oh, yep, shoot. Good job. But anyways, yeah, so if you were like by this house right there, you would have had the same shots. You could knock down this building if you want, and you would have been safer from artillery there. You spent a lot of time in artillery lanes. And one of the things is that you have to watch, and when you are free of artillery, like, you know, the artillery killed your jumbo up top, that's when you take risks and go into lanes. But You don't want to sit in those lanes too often if you can avoid it. Going over here was fine. I didn't think necessarily poking into 3 guns is profitable, but they actually came at you one at a time, which is very honorable of them, which helped you guys out a lot. And then you counter push through there. Again, there's some mistakes there in terms of being in an artillery lane. And then once the artillery fired, you said, okay, that's it. I'm not going to push these guys, which is certainly a problem. And then, let's see. Yeah, make sure that you get back to base, right? You knew that IS-6 and the ISU were down there. If both of those guys went to cap, it was going to be very difficult for you to get back in time to reset. So, you know, you were going to lose this side because you sent 2 of your high tiers over this way. Actually, I think it was 3 of your high tiers over this way. But this is almost always a losing push as long as they have anything here, because it's very easy to kill them as they come up through these lanes, because they basically funnel uphill without cover. So that's something that you ideally want to be able to avoid. And let's see. Yeah, that's about it. A little bit too much snapshotting. There were a couple of shots that you could have had that if you had just aimed in, you probably would have been better off. It's likely that the GWP is doing the same thing on the other side, going towards cap. Yep, there it is. And unfortunately, that's the game. Usually if you're the slower artillery, depending on how good their artillery is, you'll want to go to like a halfway point and look to get them as they push across. And then if they don't right away, then you can counter. Oops, I forgot to show the stats. So if you look at the stats of the game, you did a good job dealing damage, which is nice. But 23 for 31, you could have improved that a bit by aiming in a little bit more, and that actually probably would have helped you out a lot in terms of getting some of those tanks down faster. But otherwise, pretty solid game. Nice try. GG. Alright, and so the next one will be T54E1 on Redshire. Alright, so tier 10 game, lots of big artillery. They've got more high tier mediums, but overall the speed is about the same, the campiness is about the same, a lot of tank destroyers. I would play this 3 line, you've got enough depression to play it well. And then just a lot of it is, I typically head out to the 3 line and see what my team does and then change my position from there. I really don't like going 0 line. I just don't find that it's really that, like, whatever happens on the 0 line is completely independent of what happens or who wins the game. Not completely independent, but it really feels like it that way to me. To me, whoever wins the middle and west tends to win the game. And that's the same reason as, like, on northwest, right? This is actually a pretty fun place to play in, but once you win, whichever side wins, then you have to push across an open plane to get to the cap, right? Same thing on this other side. You have to push across an open plane in order to get the cap. So you can go over here and win, but if you do that, then once you win, you should really just come back and win this side. Okay, so you sent E5, JPE, PTA. It's not that much. You sent 4 guys over there. You've got a couple more tank destroyers headed this way, but it's going to take them a while to get there. You don't have anything on the 1 line, which is not necessarily so good. So a lot of it is going to be dependent on how well these guys play the 3 line, because the 3 line can spot the 1 line, but they won't spot the 1 line until they get further up. So I tend to think of these things as vision control. So like I know how far this guy can see. So like, you know, he might spot somebody when they get this far up. This guy's not going to spot anybody. These guys aren't really going to spot anything on the 3-4 line until they push up to like right here. So there's all these different vision gaps that you can sort of see here. There's another vision gap that's basically in the middle to about right here. And the rest is pretty static. They've got a bunch of tank destroyers right there, which doesn't really bode that well for these guys because it's going to take them a while to sort of look through there. As the T-95 slowly cruises across the front. And so you should be looking over here. And then again, you know, it looks like they committed a lot of their resources to this side, which is fine, except for the fact that it's going to cost you a few 10s and a 9 and a few other tanks that you don't necessarily want to lose. That was a nice early shot, though. Oh my god. A little bit more aiming would have been nice, but that's fine. Especially on that last shot, you had a little bit of a window. And then at this point, right, if you don't think that you're going to get good shots on these guys on the way in, you can go back. The nice thing about losing this area, again, like I just said, is that they have to push in through this way if that's where they want to go. Oh my god, aim. He's tracked. Well, unless you're not getting lit here, that's, you know, good. I mean, you're not loaded now, so there's not really a whole lot of benefit from you going up here. The only thing that can happen is you get lit. Unfortunately, these guys, so what I really don't like is, see how these guys are playing this ridge over here? They're playing the worst part of this ridge. It's like this Centurion is basically ISO'd, and your other medium that was over here was basically, oh no, he left, I think. There was a Centurion, there was something else over there in the early game. So basically the Centurion is trying to solo this guy while these guys just kind of hang out. And you can guess what's going to happen there. So it looks like you're going to lose this side over here. You've already lost this side over here. You've got way too much campers, yourself included. And unfortunately, you lost a lot of weight over here to get not a whole lot. You've left this huge vision gap down the 1-2 line now that they can just drive in. These guys are way too far back. I would be focused more over here. There's the guys going up the 1-2. Not sure where your Type 61 is going. You can still relocate. At this point, you're gonna have to come on and help these guys at some point anyways. So go ahead and go back. Don't worry about these guys. I know gas is expensive, but it's a video game, so you can afford to burn a little bit. Because you have to understand that these guys are in a much worse situation, and it's not like these guys are going to be able to just YOLO swag it. Yeah, I don't know if I would go this way. Because, like, you have to look at the damage that you do. Like, you can't clip these guys out. You could kill the IS-3, I think? No, the Wheezy, but you can't kill the IS-3. So, okay, well, now technically you could. If you make your shots count, you can kill the IS-3, but you're still losing your base, so you gotta keep that in mind. And see, you're still getting swarmed behind.
It's a trap!
Good job. Protect your T-95. No, that T-95. The 62A will try to flank him eventually. Make these shots count. You've only got 2 of them. Very sad. Okay, then now go ahead and start driving back towards the base. No, back towards your base. Oh my god, the other way! The cap is the other way! You're like not even loaded. There's
It's a trap!
I'm pretty sure you're lit there, so you want to move. But you still want to go back towards your cap. It's... Oh good, they got off the cap. The ultimate sign of disrespect. We don't need to cap. And then now you should be reloading. You should just hide and reload, because they're not... Don't drive towards them when you're reloading. Because they're obviously, they don't give a about capping, so they're driving towards you. You don't need to drive towards them. So this is good.
It's
Just
a trap!
ooh, FE3805. Lol. I don't know what you were thinking there. Well, you can still shoot him if you wanted. You gotta find a way to push one of these guys. Because the T-62A is coming and you can't clip them both out.
It's a trap!
Yeah, you might as well just push him at this point. Oh my god. Okay, you got 2 shots. Make these shots both count. Okay, then get underneath the bridge. He's on these hills over here. I don't think you'll be reloaded in time. So what you want to do is go over on this side, because that way at least you'll give your artillery a chance. Because if he comes over on your side, see how your artillery can't shoot him? Lol. But if you were over on that other side, then your artillery would at least have a shot. Lol. Don't drive out. Don't drive out. Stay back there. Stay back there. Oh my god. Oh my god. Not entirely sure what you thought the best case scenario was there. Alright, so in summary, I don't think coming this way is ever really that helpful. And again, you know exactly what happened. Pretty much everybody on your team died before you. I mean, their T30 poked kind of foolishly, but everybody on your team died before you really got anything going. You spent too long just waiting there. And the game was essentially decided on this side. Their team wasn't very good in terms of the way that they pressed up, even considering the amount of weight that they had over there and the sort of lack of weight that you had. Like your Centurion 7-1 got ISO'd over here, and it was literally like a 90-second duel with guys that were right here just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot. And you certainly could have made a difference, at the very least, in keeping that 7-1 alive and keeping these guys from winning this side. When you were basically you spent a lot of time over here, and I think that for a game that, you know, lasted for you, you know, 11 minutes or whatever like that, you actually really didn't fire that many shots. Most of your shooting came at the end when you were actually driving around doing things. So something to keep in mind. So if we look at the stats, let's see, 22 shots, yeah, meh. A little bit more aiming on a couple of those be better. When you have time, make sure that you take the time. If you don't have the time, you need to rush it, yeah, that's fine, I'm good with that. But just make sure that, you know, in your head that you're thinking about, do I have time to let this one aim all the way in? And if you do, please let it aim all the way in, especially on these clip tanks. Oh, your T92 did some work, and your GWE did some work too. Be sad. Anyhow, nice try, and GG. Alright, and let's see. Okay, sorry. Patton on Karelia. Assault mode. Tier 10. You're the assaulters. I actually think that it's easier to assault on this map than it is to defend. I don't really like playing this side so much. There's no artillery though. And you did spawn on this side, so you can play this side. So if you do play this side, play this sort of top ridge here. Don't go to the front right away. You can get firing lanes through here. And then so ideally what you want to be able to do is creep up through this area and at least get to right here, because that gives you shots through here. And a lot of it depends on like what your spotters do as well. But I generally start on this top level plateau, you know, where the cap spawn is in standard mode. And then remember, the only thing about assault mode is that you have 10 minutes, but usually on Karelia, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. As long as you get lights, you get cross shots all over the map. And so you got an IS-3 going down here, which is, I don't know, it's okay, I guess. Your tank destroyers are going up here, which is sometimes decent, but usually these guys are pretty safe from that hill because that's the obvious play. You can go up to this area right here, and then you have to be careful. When you push up to this rock, you can still get shot from over there. So you just peek out here. You can peek out here. Oh my god, you can peek out here. You've got like one of the longest view ranges in the game. There you go. And that's all you need to do. Just okay, you can take a shot there too.
It's a trap!
But yeah, so you don't have to get a shot on that first thing. Like, when nothing is lit there, just poke out, and either you'll light something or something will light you. You know, just poke out for a second and then pull back.
We didn't penetrate their armor. It's a trap!
I wouldn't bother shooting at the mouse too much. I would look for other things. So you don't want to be stuck on this lane against the mouse, basically. So you'd much rather come, like, shoot at this Tiger 2 on the other side. You can reposition down by this T69 to get shots on the 5100. You want to shoot pretty much anything other than the mouse right now. So, because if this is what your game plan is, shooting the mouse, it's not a very good game plan.
It's a trap!
Your team is a little bit campy, your IS-3 is a little bit too far back. And again, this is something where you could relocate around this side and be safe, like next to these rocks, and shoot at this 5100. This shooting at this mouse is not going to end well for you. Trying to shoot at the mouse, hoping to get shots at the mouse, none of these things are going to end well for you. Shooting that guy is fine. I mean, you can get shots on that guy all day, then great. You get shots on this Tiger that's over here.
It's a trap!
Get shots on this T69 that's behind you. These guys pushed up over here, which is usually good for your team. You don't want to keep poking into this side. Again, I'm not entirely sure what you think you're gonna get over here, but there's nothing there for you right now. They are sort of overrunning you on that side, which is fine. You still need to get down over here at some point so that you can find out if there's anything else down there. Again, even if you light the mouse right there, you're not going to have shots. So you're spending a little bit too much time here.
It's a trap!
You don't know if there's anything behind him. And apparently there's a Tiger 2 behind him. Yeah, see where this T-54 is going? That's typically will be better. These guys are going to start pushing down the 0 line. Okay, and this mouse is still in front of you with a crap ton of health. He's getting pushed from this other side a little bit. This T-54 dropped down. You're getting cleared out through this backside here. So you want to push this mouse. He's chasing after your T-54. So you can get him in a 1-2 situation here, because he pushed part way into the ditch. And so this is the area that you should have pushed into. See where that sort of dead T-69 is? You could have come over on this side of the rock and basically gotten shots at the 5100.
It's a trap! Enemy armor is damaged.
He can still shoot you there. That's not something that you want to peek into if you can avoid it. That was a good shot. See how your T-54 can come in from this side and kill him if you wanted.
It's a trap!
That was a good job. They cleared out your backside though, so they're going to be able to shoot you guys from this ridge over here. So you need to try to clear out this 110 that's right here. You can shoot him. You can shoot this 110 right now. You can shoot him right now and take him out. Because he's spotting for your guys, and so these guys are going to get owned from the hill. You can still shoot this 110. You can still shoot this 110. You can still shoot this 110. You're not getting any shots there, but you can still well, right now you can't. There, now you can shoot him again. Alright, now you can't because he's going down that rock. Oh, now we're looking over there? LOL, the auto-aim kill. I guess that works. So, that begs the question, why didn't you do that like 30 seconds ago? LOL.
It's a trap!
Dat RNG. Yeah, so I really felt like you spent too long sitting over here looking into a bad situation that wasn't going to be something that would have improved. You could have gone around to the side of this 5100. You could have killed that Tiger 2 that was in the middle. You kind of fixated really on this line, and that it's one of those situations where if you're in a medium tank, or if you're in pretty much any tank, if the alley that you're stuck in is a bad situation, you should figure out how to go someplace else. Like, that should be part of the thinking, not, oh, I'm gonna make this work. You know, this mouse is angled, but I'm gonna make this work. You know, don't get stuck in making things work. Just go someplace else where you're gonna have a better situation right off the bat. Yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say about that. And so if we look at the stats, would have been nice if you got a little bit more out of your 10s. Your guys on the north got swarmed. That'll happen. That's one of the reasons why you try to get that intel early, even on assault maps, is because it prevents the other team from pushing out a lot of times, because they go, oh, we got lit, there's people shooting at us. Even if they don't really take that much damage, it usually stops people. But if you don't light them, then eventually they're going to move up, and so that's why you can't play too passively in terms of your lights. Overall, you did a pretty decent job of dealing damage, which is good. And you did a really good job against the mouse when he was in the trench. That was a little bit too risky at times, but it worked out for you, which is great. And you did a good job of dealing damage to him through the drag wheel. So that's what we want to see. So GG, nice try.